review today. We have a light that I've gotten a ton of requests to do a review on. I've done previously the original TLR1 as well as the 300 lumen model. I'll put the links up here for you guys for those. But here is the newer 600 lumen, I should say, TLR1 HL model. Lots of folks asked me about this one. Obviously for good reason. The reason is it's putting out a lot of light. It's a well-known brand, a trusted brand, and it's coming in at an excellent price point. So we'll keep putting it through the test here. We'll do some nighttime comparison after this, and then let you know what I think of it at the end. But we'll get back to shooting. Before I step outside for the low light test, I just want to show you the lights that we're using. We're of course using the TLR1 HL, which is the light in question here, obviously. Another light that we're going to be comparing it to is the Surefire X300 Ultra, the 500 lumen model that you guys have seen in a previous review. And the last one that we're going to compare it to is the old original TLR1S. This is the original one that came out. I believe it's 160 lumen model. You've seen a review on that as well. So those are the lights that we're going to be comparing it to when we step outside next. There you see the Streamlight TLR1. This is the original model, not the HL model. On that shed right there. That shed, again, for those of you guys that haven't watched my light reviews, is about 30 meters away, and there's my dog. You can see him light him up. But you see there the TLR1, even the original version, does a really good job of lighting up the thread area, in this case my dog, as well as the peripheral. Now, there is the 600 plus lumen HL on the same area. Take a look at them, you can see the difference there, no doubt about it. And we'll go ahead and do them side by side. Oops. Let the camera focus in there. And there is, again, the standard version and the HL. You can go ahead and see just how different those white spots are. The size and brightness difference between the two. Pretty apparent there. There you see the Surefire X300 Ultra 500 lumen model that we showed earlier. You can see it has good spill, good hot spot, does a good job of lighting up that area. Now, contrast again, there is the TLR HL. One thing you'll notice if you're out here in person is the spill on the HL is definitely not as good as the 300 Ultra. We'll do them side by side. There's your 300 Ultra and your TLR1 HL. No doubt about it. I don't know if it comes across on camera the same way it does in person, but the white spot on the TLR1 right here versus the Surefire X300, the white spot is definitely whiter in person, no doubt about it. But again, the spill is a little bit less. So pros and cons to each, I suppose. I'm gonna go ahead and get into some of the specs, take a closer look at it here. One thing, if you guys watched my 300 lumen TRL video, I mentioned is there's just no way to differentiate it between the standard 140 or 160, depending on which light you have, TRL. Well, this one's not the case. There is the HL markings on both sides, as well as the heat warning up front, obviously because that 630 lumens does get pretty hot. So there's definitely a way to distinguish it, which is a good thing in my opinion. I just mentioned basic specs. It's 630 lumen. That's the total output of the light. And but probably what's more important than that, what you guys saw during that video, especially when compared to the Surefire 300 Ultra, is that the peak candela of this light is 12,000. And just I know there's a lot of guys out there that know a ton about lights, more than I'll ever probably hope to know. But a quick breakdown of lumens versus candela power for you guys is lumens, like I just said, is the total output of the light. Candela is basically the brightest spot of that light, so that has something to do with the reflector and how the beam is focused. So, which is out there with that really hot white light is that candela power coming out. Those are 12,000 candela. So, basic specs on there. It runs on two CR123 batteries. They go in the back hatch here, which you just pop that open, comes out, replace the batteries, and it is operated just like all TRL lights, so it is rocker operated. So you have the momentary on if you want to hit it twice and go into strobe mode, or you can just hold it down for momentary on, or if you want it permanent on, you can just set it that way and it will stay on as long as it's in that position. Another thing about this light is it is waterproof down to 1 meter for 30 minutes. We're going to go ahead and test that out up next. Alright, we got the light turned on. Let's go ahead and drop it in there. As you guys can see, no issues whatsoever functioning. As you just saw, no issues there with water. I went ahead and shook it out. There's still a little bit of water you can see in there, but still going strong, no issues, still operating. Another thing that I like about the upgraded 600 Lumen model here is that it still fits on the same holsters. We'll go ahead and take our Glock 34 out, mount it up. I'll show you what I mean by that. So go ahead and just line it up like you always do. Twist it down. And if you guys are mounting these on Glocks, particularly 40 Smith & Wesson Glocks, I highly recommend you do not use any sort of tightening tool. Just use your fingers so it's finger tight. It will stay on there just fine. Anyway, we got it mounted up there. Take our holster. This is a RKBA holster that was made about, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago. So definitely the HL version of this light didn't exist. And as you can see here, slides in there, fits perfect. So you don't need to go out and buy new holsters if you're going to go ahead and buy this light. Another thing a lot of guys like, because they run the TLR1s on there, on the rifles I should say, is that it does work just fine with the remote switch that a lot of you guys are using. So if you have a remote switch on your rifle, you can continue to use it with this light. Just pop off the battery cap, pop on the switch, and you're good to go. Whenever you read reviews out there on the internet or watch videos out there on the internet of this light, people always bring up that they think 630 lumens is too bright and that they're going to be blinded if they go ahead and use it inside their house. Well, obviously a lot of that is going to depend on the person to person, but for me, I'll tell you a story. For those of you guys that don't follow me on Facebook, because those guys know I posted the story up when it happened, but for those of you guys that don't follow me on Facebook, I had someone try to break in my house approximately 30 days ago. And I had the Surefire X300 Ultra, which is the 500 lumen light, which a lot of people say is too bright. I had that on my Glock 35. And went around the corner to my foyer, which the guy was trying to get in the door. I came around the corner, illuminated them because I have windows on the side of my door. Illuminated the threat, trying to come in the door with 500 lumens. Middle of the night, it was 03:28 in the morning. I remember that when I saw my alarm clock when I woke up. So I was asleep for hours, woke up dead of night, illuminated the threat. The guy took off running. I had no temporary blindness. Now again, that was the 500 lumen light. You did see out there in the outdoors test, this light is absolutely brighter and has a whiter hot spot. So as to whether or not that would actually happen, I don't know. I haven't done it yet. But that said, I know with the 500 lumen light, it didn't happen to me. Now I'm relatively young. I'm still under 40 for a couple more years. I have good eyesight. So, I mean, again, it's going to vary from person to person. If you don't fit that description, you might have light sensitivity, things like that. It might be different for you, but ultimately that's a decision you're going to have to make, and you're going to have to try it out and see for yourself. But for me, it's not a concern of mine. It may be of yours, though, so something to consider. But all in all, I mean, the light for what you get, I mean, again, this light only costs $120 thereabouts at all the big retailers. Brownells, Amazon, Midway, they all carry this light, Optics Planet, for right around that price range, anywhere from really $110 to $125. So for the cost differential between like the competitor, which is probably the main competitor out there, is the Surefire 300 Ultra. This light is coming in almost half of what that light costs, so you get a lot of light for the money, no getting around it. And Streamlights are extremely durable. I have tons of Streamlights that you guys have seen in the past. I've been using them for years. I've literally never had a problem with one. Well, I take that back. The Polytac. I had one Polytac that would vibrate under recoil. I sent it back in. They replaced it, so they had very good customer service. And so no issues there. But all good lights have good warranty. They're a good company. So nothing really bad to say about them. All in all, guys, it's a good light. I like it. Going forward, for me, the extra brightness is probably worth the trade-off in battery life. So I'll continue to buy this when I buy TLR1s in the future. But all in all, good light. And that's about it. If you guys have any questions on what we covered in the review today, you feel free to post below in the comments section. You can also post over at my Facebook page. But as always, guys, thanks for subscribing. I truly appreciate it. And I hope to see you in the next video.